Former President Donald Trump is rallying his supporters in Erie, Pennsylvania. I want to bring in Democratic strategist Fred Hicks and GOP strategist Alexandra Wilkes. The rhetoric really seems to be ramped up in the last couple of days. Fred, I'm going to let you respond. The former president saying that it's unfortunate that President Joe Biden became mentally impaired, but then said Kamala Harris, there's something wrong with her and that she currently is mentally impaired and was born that way. I want you to respond to that, please.
You know, that was tough to listen to because of the sheer amount of hypocrisy that's dripping from every word that Donald Trump uttered. It was just 2 weeks ago after the latest attempt on his life that he and his Republican colleagues in the Senate and in Congress overall called out Democrats and said that Democrats were using incendiary language and that their language and the volatility in the language is what led to the attempt on his life, on the life of President Trump. And they said that Democrats need to dial back the language. And Democrats were not engaging in that kind of language. And here we are just 2 weeks later, and he's using these kind of words, which could indeed inspire someone to take some type of action against the life of the vice president or even the sitting president. It's just the irony, the hypocrisy is galling, appalling, and I think it's really not befitting of anyone who wants to hold this office. But this is who Donald Trump has been. This is who Donald Trump is. And that is why he is behind in the national polls, why he lost the national vote in 2016 and in 2020, why he's on pace to lose it now. And it looks like, based on the current polling and the projections, he might lose the Electoral College vote, because this is not America, and this is not what Americans are about, this hate, this division, and this kind of language. And just honestly, the outright hypocrisy is disappointing.
Fred, I want to let Alex get in here. There seems to be sort of two camps, the let Trump be Trump camp, Alex, and the stick to policy. You do well on immigration. You do well on the economy, enough with the personal attacks. Which camp are you in, and what do you think helps Trump win in November? Because that's what matters come Election Day.
I guess I'm sort of a hybrid, because I think that you're never going to put Donald Trump in a box. People have tried, it's never worked. He has to be himself. That being said, him being himself at this rally and at other rallies around the country is speaking to what voters care about the most, which is the economy, and they care about immigration. That's what we've seen predominantly in this rally over the last couple of minutes, him talking about, and he's using harsh language because, quite frankly, the challenges that are confronting us are harsh. Whereas with Vice President Harris, we just don't have any coherence with what she's going to do. And the only thing we do know are the radical positions that she's taken in the past. If you ask her about the economy in friendly environments with interviewers who are throwing her softball questions, you get incoherent statements about joy and holistic plans. For immigration, you get this Friday night news conference about how we have to fix the border. Where has she been for the last 3.5 years? She could go to Washington and fix it now. I think that it's, again, Trump being Trump when he said, go wake Joe Biden up out of bed and get this problem fixed. I think that resonates with a lot of Americans, because every day they have to get up and do their jobs. And Kamala Harris hasn't done hers. And what we know about her now with this late switch in the game is that her radical policies from her time as an unchallenged California senator, as a San Francisco district attorney, are really coming to light, and people aren't liking what they're seeing.
Well, Kamala Harris at the moment, according to 538, an average of polls, she is leading in Pennsylvania by 1.6 percentage points. This is a very hotly contested state of the 7 battleground states. This is the one where both sides have spent the most money on political ads, millions of dollars. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.